Hey, Mike, you got that right. They are dreading the debates because Trump will take this guy to school.
If you doubt what he's saying, listen to Karen Tumulty's column in the Washington Post. Headline, "It's time to rethink the presidential debates." I don't know that I've ever seen a columnist for the Washington Post twist oneself into a pretzel like she does to try to pretend that she's just objectively saying that maybe we just get rid of the debates altogether this year, because it's a tough year. She writes, given how many ugly turns this election year has already taken, how many more are surely yet to come, it's probably a fool's errand to go in search of silver linings in 2020. But here's her silver lining. Let's just make sure there's no audience, there's no, and maybe do away with the debates altogether, she writes. First, she says, I've written about how the party conventions have outlived their purpose. There's no suspense anymore to these pointless, lobbyist-funded infomercials. TV audiences find them boring, she says. Which now brings us to the debates. It's time to do some rethinking about the debates, Karen Tumulty writes in the Washington Post. Trump's claiming he'd like to have 4, Biden there's going to be 3. This is not serious, even on the best of circumstances. Scheduling these much-watched events on the busy fall calendar is a difficult challenge for the Commission on Presidential Debates. It has to find dates that aren't on Friday or Saturday nights, don't conflict with sporting events and other networks that the events the networks are committed to, or other business like the UN General Assembly. She is trying to make the case that it's just too tricky to schedule debates, especially this year. And finding venues are going to definitely be a challenge. She says all this could be simplified if the campaigns would drastically reduce the live audiences who attend the debates or even do away with them entirely. Ah, there it is. That's right, Karen. Karen. We should do away with the debates altogether. Wouldn't that be just what the anti-Trump world wants? And then she concludes by saying Trump probably would do better to walk away too. History gives Trump reason to be wary, she says. Sitting presidents often stumble in their first debates because they arrive both overconfident and out of practice. This year, the stakes for Trump could hardly be higher. His poll numbers are dropping, and there are signs even Trump's bluster-loving base is starting to have its doubts. So as he looks ahead to the debates, she concludes, in a pathetic attempt to try to exonerate herself from this ridiculous suggestion that there shouldn't be a debate. Here's what she says. The embattled president might want to focus on winning the old-fashioned way by studying the issues, showing up prepared, and commanding the facts. If Trump were to manage to do that, it could be the biggest October surprise of all. Yeah, right, Karen. Sure thing. Sure thing. Not one mention in this column, this painful attempt, this exercise to try to justify doing away with the debates, does she say anything about this guy who yesterday said this.
I stopped it the other night. Every night
Nope.
we're going to get tougher
Cut
and
eight,
tougher.
guys.
And at some
Joe
point, there's
Biden,
going to be retribution
sorry.
because there has.
And Donald Trump will file in the Supreme Court today an attempt to strip away health care coverage from tens of millions of families in the United States, strip away their peace of mind away from more than 100 million people with pre-existing conditions. If he succeeds, more than 23 million Americans will lose their coverage overnight, including nearly 1 million Pennsylvanians. Insurers could once again discriminate or deny services or drop coverage for people living with pre-existing conditions like asthma, diabetes, cancer, and so much more. Perhaps most cruelly of all, if Donald Trump has his way, those who have complications from COVID-19 could become the new pre-existing conditions. people don't have anywhere to go. They don't know what they're going to do. And a lot of people you have unnecessarily. Now we have over 120 million dead from COVID.
And not one time does Karen Tumulty suggest it might be a bad idea to have Joe Biden on the debate stage. No, she's trying to protect Trump from himself. She's just trying to, yeah, sure she is. Can you believe this? I mean, it doesn't surprise me. As Molly Hemingway tweeted out last night, she's been saying this for a while. The last thing the Trump haters want is Joe Biden on stage for a debate. 1-800-655-MIKE. You have it wrong? Do you disagree? You think that the conventions are and incidentally, the comparing Trump is going to have a huge gathering, I guess, in Jacksonville. Democrats will be dramatically scaled back. They're going to be using 21st century technology for their convention. What a contrast, huh? 1-800-655-MIKE.